want to finish our talk that we did the last time. I guess that was 2 weeks ago today on extraterrestrials, multidimensional beings, extra-dimensional beings, as well as we did want to cover the energies that's just the increased energy that's happening on this planet today. So there's been just a huge influx of cosmic energy coming from not only the sun, but elsewhere in the galaxy and elsewhere in the cosmos as well. So we did want to kind of cover that, and also we want to hear your experiences, if you will, if you're willing to, explain your experiences with the increased energy, with extraterrestrials, with your guides, with dreaming, any experiences. We want to hear it. So, because we want to connect with people that are having these experiences right now. It's not just me and Larissa. It's not just, hi Crystal. It's not just us. It's not just you guys. I really, really feel like the whole planet is feeling this right now. Some people just don't know how to, or what to do with it. Okay. A lot of times we will see if somebody is more negatively polarized, and then you put them in an area where you're going to have this increased cosmic energy, they're going to become almost more negatively polarized and have a lot of anxiety and increase in repetitive thoughts. So that is when we see, in a sense, the whole world going crazy, or them going crazy, because they're in a heightened state of anxiousness and repetitive thoughts, and so they start doing these heinous crimes that we're starting to see in the whole world right now. And I had something happen just a few blocks from me a few weeks ago that would never in the history of my town ever happen. It was just insane and really sad. But Crystal's
in my
here.
hometown too.
Oh, okay.
Lots of murders and burglaries and just craziness.
Yeah, it is, and it's even more so in the last couple of weeks. And gosh, that stuff never, ever, ever happens in my town. Like, our news is like a cat being stuck in a tree, and it's I mean, really, and we had a triple murder, and it was just terrible. But so Crystal's here. Hi, Crystal. Hi, Amy.
Hi, Crystal.
Yeah. Hi,
Amy.
Yeah. Hi, Linda. Linda's here.
Hi, Linda.
Rowena is here. Hi, Rowena.
Hi, Rowena.
Good to see you. Okay. Hello, everybody. It's really good to see everybody here. We know it's late, and we were just saying, we know it's late, but the people that are up late are our people, so they'll find us. Linda says I watch the sky day and night, daily. Awesome. Yeah, we do need to be paying attention to the sky and what's going on around us. We were just talking about how everybody's saying kind of the thing right now, bringing through from their guides, and everybody's saying that we're going to start experiencing more. We're going to start experiencing things that, we never thought we would with physically, okay? And actually that came from Larissa, because I was telling her an experience of mine that happened to me a few nights ago. And I do believe it was New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, because we were up late. And I was sitting on my floor, I was cleaning up, getting ready to go to bed, because it was late, of course. And I was just prompted to turn around and look at this dresser that I have in my living room going into my kitchen. It kind of stands at the corner there, and it's about, chest high to me, but I was sitting down, so it was kind of above my head. But I was prompted somehow to turn around and look at this area on this dresser, and it was like, you know how somebody would throw a pebble in a pond, and then the ripples would come out, in a spiral. This dresser just literally did this in this one area. Like somebody was holding a bowl of water over it, and all I could see were these ripples coming off. And I was seeing this with my physical eyes, guys, physical eyes. And me being a clairvoyant, I normally just see things with my inner vision, my third eye. Now, every once in a while, I'll get a glimpse of something, physically in the but I blamed it on being tired, and I went to bed, and the next morning I kicked myself because I realized I was experiencing something, and I probably should have been paying attention, but I didn't feel anything negative. I didn't feel anything dawning, nothing like that. I do feel like I was being checked in on, or I was being allowed to see this experience, and I was very grateful for that after the fact, after I realized that I played it off. But that kind of brings up a point about how I played it off. A lot of things are happening around us all the time like that, or similar things, or unrelated things, and we are playing them off, like on being tired, or just my peripheral vision, or oh, I'm just making that up in my head, or something like that, and that is absolutely not true.
Welcome to 2020, our new world.
Yes.
Welcome to 2020, and to all of our viewers, Happy New Year's.
Oh yeah,
Glad you're here with us and going into 2020. And as anybody else out there in our audience, have experienced anything? Excuse me, out of the ordinary? Like Trish is used to seeing things, hearing things, feeling things, but to witness something that was so almost physical that she had to write it off in her logical mind that it couldn't be happening,
right?
But it was. I mean, these are things that here in 2020 that are going to start becoming more noticeable, and maybe some of our viewers are experiencing a little different gift that they never noticed. Maybe they're seeing auras or feeling things differently. That'd be a good question if anybody out there is experiencing anything new since January 1st.
Totally.
Like Trish did. She witnessed something that was very physical, and her mind's eye couldn't fathom what she was seeing.
Yeah. And that was me. Yeah.
And it was, a message, and, she's regretting not asking, what's going on, which is okay. Yeah. She probably got her message in her dreams.
Because I had literally went to bed directly following that, because I said, oh, I must be really, really tired now. So, and then I went on to bed, so I probably connected with my guides and my dreams, and I probably talked to them there. I don't remember, but that's probably exactly what happened. So for me to write something off like that is pretty big, so I know everybody is experiencing something, whether or not they realize that they are. Linda
if you're tired, I mean, I've had 2 headaches in the last week, and I haven't had headaches in years.
Totally.
But I've had headaches, hip aches, completely fatigued out.
Totally.
Just so tired, and you lay down and you don't really sleep because it's like your body is overtired. It's been really taxing on the physical body since the 1st.
Absolutely. Body aches are
the ringing in our ears has been ramped up.
Mine's actually
the aching, the vision changes.
Totally. Yeah.
Feeling like bugs are on your skin, the itching.
Yeah.
I got a sty in each one of my eyes. My eyes were like really gritty and itchy, and I ended up with a sty in each one of my eyes. And our eyes are being affected by this.
Sure, because our vision is changing, right? Our vision is changing.
Our senses, not only our senses that we use here on Earth, but our senses that are connecting us to other realms, frequencies, they're all being ramped up.
You got it.
On a large scale, so.
Yep. And my ringing in my ears has actually changed a little bit. I used to be like a solid ringing.
I did a different tone than I did a year ago.
Yes, exactly. Mine is more like a loud buzzing, high-pitched buzzing. Not too long ago, it was just it was more like a bell tone. Now it's like a buzzing, a high-pitched buzzing noise. So that means that it's turned up. Okay.
Mine was a high-pitched, and now it's more of a baritone sound.
Okay. Okay.
Baritone, I guess. That's baritone, right?
Yes,
I
yes.
guess it started
Okay.
out soprano.
Okay, yeah. I guess so. Well, mine went to soprano,
Which kind
so.
of makes sense because of my hips hurting, and that, the sacral and the root chakra would probably be the baritone sound.
Well, probably.
I feel
No,
like
you're
that's where they're
right.
working a lot right now.
Sure.
In my body,
You're
physically,
probably
I would say,
right.
it started out at the crown because I started out with the headaches.
Totally.
So the crown chakra was definitely being activated, and then the ear ringing. And it's like you said, it's a baritone, and
Yes.
then my hips have been just, and my lower back just off the chain pain. And I'm like, it's like being pregnant. I'm not.
Oh, yeah.
My two children are 24 and 30.
Yeah.
So I think like maybe it's the sacral and the root chakra that are, that's why the baritone. It makes sense to me.
No, yeah,
lower, come up higher, right?
You're right. No, you're right. And we got a couple of comments here. Let's see. Linda says, I have seen many things in cloud formations that haven't related to me that others may or may not see.
Here in Montana. Me and
Mm-hmm.
my sweetheart, Royden, have witnessed ships in the clouds here.
Sure.
We have seen clouds that are illuminated from no sun, but illuminated with lights.
Mm-hmm.
We have seen flashes in the clouds. So, thank you for that.
Yes, yes.
That's definitely been ramped up since the first.
Definitely. And then Amy says, I woke up from my nap and my whole ceiling looked like water. Yeah, that's kind of how I would describe it. And I was trying to explain it to Larissa earlier. It's really hard to explain because in the movies, whenever they show like a portal, how the portal is made, there's like a separation where that would be, and there wasn't. It was literally just fluid, and it was pulling, and it was actually like part of the dresser, when the ripple would come up, part of the dresser would lift off and it would be disconnected, just like a reflection in the ripple on water. That's exactly, it looked like water. And then, let's see, Linda says, I have a strong gift of knowing the sheer depth of someone who is within themselves, if they are truth or not, or fake. Oh, yeah, and that sometimes is a gift that,
truth meter, that's definitely going to be ramped up, absolutely.
Yes.
And that's another thing that, everybody needs to remember going through this right now.
Yes.
There's a lot of energy there, and not all energy is good. We have good energy, we have bad energy.
Right.
And it's important for us as we walk our daily lives here on this earth that we use our truth meter and that we recognize who we were talking to, because energy speaks a lot. And if that's great that she knows that,
absolutely,
that's ramping up, because it's really important moving forward that we are dealing with the people we are meant to deal with, and by us knowing how it makes us feel, we will know these are our people.
Absolutely.
That's a big gift. That's a beautiful gift to have.
Yep. And sometimes, I don't know, because I have that gift as well, and sometimes it sucks to know when somebody's lying and when they're not lying, but, it's a good thing, though. It does suck
just
sometimes.
Smile in their face, like, I know you're lying, but whatever.
Right. I'll take it. You just keep telling yourself that, right?
You keep telling us that,
yeah. And then Crystal's asking, is that what the migraines are about and nothing? I would say yes. I would say absolutely yes. Yeah.
Yes,
and then
absolutely.
I believe
no medical reason that you have a headache and your body is completely fatigued.
Yep.
The ascension is so strong. The energy is so off the chain, and it's so erratic right now.
Totally.
My crown chakra has just been totally ramped up, and I had headache. I say it's 2 headaches, but it was really a headache that just decided to go on for 2.5 days just straight. And there was nothing I could do about it.
And this is, and that's just like Larissa said, it's the crown chakra. So take whatever symptom you're having. So headache here, that's your crown chakra. Pressure in the back, in the lower back, that's your sacral chakra. You might have a stomach ache or indigestion, that is your solar. If you have anxiety or, in a sense, a heartache, or you feel chest pressure for whatever reason, that is your heart chakra. Okay. Yes.
Excuse me, when you said that, it just made me cough.
Well, there you go.
Speak our truth.
That's right. That's right.
Our throat.
Or if we have sore throat, or
we start talking about our chakras, and I start coughing. But Speaking
and
our word
yeah.
of truth comes through our throat chakra.
Yep. So when you have
Having a
throat,
sore throat,
yeah,
ears.
exactly. Take
Mhm.
that. That is exactly what the energies are trying to clear for you. So if you're having a headache, you've got the blockage and you're clearing your crown chakra and your third eye chakra. Okay, so
Yes.
take note, everybody. What memories are coming up when you're having this symptom? What memories are being
Yes.
in your consciousness at that time that you're having
Right.
this symptom?
Is it bills? Is it a relationship? What is it?
Right.
Is there karmic garbage that's built up that's
Right.
holding you back in your mind,
Right.
your heart, your
Right.
everyday life?
Whatever.
And, me and Trish have been
Right.
speaking this for weeks.
Right.
That it's time to erase our karmic garbage. We need to do
Right.
the inner work.
It's
You need
time.
to do your inner work, because if we don't, 2020 is going to be a really rough year.
Oh,
if you're
yeah.
not cleaning out the bad relationships in your life,
Mm-hmm.
the bad karma that you created, the darkness that you have not explored or brought to light, all
Yep.
of this is going to be brought to light.
Yep.
And if we bring it as our inner work, we do the work,
Mm-hmm.
then we will flourish and we will thrive from it. But if we don't do the work, we're going to get choked up.
Yeah,
Our life is going to take a tumble, because
Yeah.
our karmic garbage has got to be cleaned. The time is now. It's
Yep.
coming. The energy is putting us on an escalator. That's how I told
Yes.
Trish. I
Yes.
feel like
Yeah, it is.
we're all standing on an escalator, and the energy is coming at us, whether we're moving or not.
Right.
This energy is going to keep moving, and we're going to keep moving till
Right.
we fall off the escalator.
Right.
And it's
Right.
going to hurt.
Right.
Because we
Yeah.
didn't face what we needed to do
Exactly.
to get off the escalator.
Yeah.
So everybody needs to do their job. It's our turn. It's everybody's turn right now to take that time to find what is hurting us, what is holding us back, what is depressing us, what is weighing us down so deeply that we're going to be affected by it, because we are. The energy is going to clean it, and if the universe does it, it's going to be clean. And that's just the way it is.
Whenever,
if we do the inner work, it might be a little ugly,
Right.
but don't fear it, because never go into change with fear.
Absolutely.
Go in it with love,
Right.
knowing that you're
Right.
protected,
Right.
that what's coming is for your highest good,
Right.
and ask for that. I am love. I am accepting of this change. I ask that this change comes with love and moves me on to my highest purpose. They will help you. Our angels, our guides, the creator, our universe is going to hear that and say, okay,
Right.
they're doing the inner work. They're facing, their childhood traumas. I'm gonna help them
Right.
to
Right.
lower.
Yes.
But if not, you
Yeah.
don't face that childhood trauma.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I don't know what the universe is gonna do, but
Well,
it's not gonna
yeah,
be
and no,
pretty.
yeah. I mean, God helps them who helps
Inner work is not
themselves.
pretty,
Yeah,
and it
exactly.
hurts.
Right.
And
God,
it's
source,
painful.
the universe, whatever you want to call it, he, she
Mhm.
only helps those who help themselves. You have to be doing your inner
That's
work,
yep.
And
You have
this
to
is,
do the work.
absolutely. We were just talking about this before we came on. It's really ramping up, and there are things that are going to happen soon
Mhm.
that you will be caught off guard, surprised, shattered.
Mhm.
If you do not start doing, and some of you are, and I'm not lecturing those that are, but take some family members or take some friends that are completely asleep and don't know what's going on and don't care to do their inner work. They're going to be really, really caught off guard, and I mean really. So everybody needs to start getting in there.
If we can help ourselves,
Mhm.
we make ourselves a beacon or a vessel to help
Yes.
those that need help.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Really, it's our purpose to help our community. And if we're not doing the work, walking through the wars, fighting these wars ourselves, we have no place to stand here and say, you really need to do this. But
Exactly.
we're fighting our wars. We're doing our walk. We are every day waking up and going, what can we do today
Yep.
to help humanity? I can't stop the bombs, but I can always send love to that area.
Absolutely.
I can,
Absolutely.
those things help our common collective, and we need all the help we can get.
Absolutely.
And if you're doing the work, thank you.
Yeah. Very, very gratitude for those that are going in there and taking all that stuff out and bringing it up and healing it. And
yes, if you're on the front line, thank you.
Yeah, and you have no idea how much we help the collective as a whole by each person doing their own inner work. So don't think for a second that one person cannot change the world, because one person going in and changing the way they perceive things to a more positive note and being more grateful and healing their traumas and karma, they are helping more than anything.
Yes.
Because that
spreading the seeds of healing.
That's right. It's like a domino effect, guys, or the 100 monkey theory, where let me give you that example. So the 100 monkey theory, and it's not really a theory, I should say, because it was an experiment that they really did this. So they took an island and they put 100 monkeys on there, not one more, not one less, 100 monkeys, and they were intelligent monkeys. I mean, but they were feeding them some type of seed or nut or something like that. I don't remember, but they were throwing it in the sand on the beach, and when the monkeys would go to grab them, they would dig them out of the sand and then they would just eat them. Well, I think they were getting sick because they were also eating a bunch of sand whenever they were eating them. So after so many years or months, or I don't exactly remember the amount of time, but after a certain amount of time, one monkey out of the 100 figured out that if he cleared the sand off this food, I think it was type of walnut or something, if he cleared the sand off the food and washed it off in the water and then ate it, he wasn't going to get sick. So then once one figured it out, it was like another monkey figured it out, but it didn't like he went and showed the monkey. It wasn't like, hey, look at this, look what I did. It wasn't anything like that. So, but once one figured it out, okay, another one did, and then another one did, and then another one did. So this is exactly what I mean by one person doing their inner work and healing their traumas and being grateful and understanding what love is and what light is, and spreading that, and that literally creates a domino effect and helping the whole collective. So I hope that makes sense. I've got
it makes sense. It makes sense because it's the same philosophy as you and I, two people spreading seeds every Saturday.
Absolutely.
Because what we speak is our truth, and we're here saying, these are the truths that we know, and we would like to help you, the viewers, everybody out there in the collective. If you don't understand it, we want to help you.
Yeah, and
it wasn't an easy job to get to where me and Trish are sitting today.
Yeah, no. Oh, heck no. Right. Oh, heck no. Oh, my gosh. And a lot of stage fright and a lot of heartbreak and trauma. And I ignored my own for a while. I know.
Actually, I would say 2018 and 2019 was a big catapult to where I am here today.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, the changes that I had to go through, and the trauma that I had to get rid of, and to heal from all of that, to find enough inner worth, self-power to know that I could hold Trish's hand. We could do this. Because a year ago, I pondered it. I didn't think I was powerful enough to stand here and say, this is who I am, this is what I am, I want to tell the whole world. No, I didn't have that. I was not healed enough. I was living in an environment that I was told that, oh, you're crazy, like, who do you think you are? Like, and I'm like, I know who I am. Why don't you understand? Right. I had to get out of a negative environment that was holding me down.
I can only imagine, because
where I am today, with love and support and honor, and makes me feel powerful and strong and loved and supported enough to come here and talk to the world about the energies and the ascension and the inner work, and it took us, me and Trish ourselves, to go through the transformation enough to say, let's do this. We're meant to do this. And our guide said, you guys will do this because you two were meant to do this.
We chose,
before we came here.
Exactly.
We said, you're going to live in Illinois, Trish. I'm going to live here in Montana. We're going to meet up one day, and we're going to change the world if we, And here we are.
Yep.
We're here.
I can only imagine how much I would advance because I live in that type of environment now. So I can only imagine what it would be like if I were to be able to get out of that. It would be incredible.
Yes, because it makes a difference.
It does. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It does.
But we were talking about energies earlier, and
Hi,
me and Trish were talking about energies, which I don't see auras. I'm not a seer. I'm a feeler. I feel energy. And to live with a black cloud in my environment every day, day after day, and no matter how much of a unicorn, I always see myself as a unicorn. No matter how magical I was, there was always this cloud. Always this cloud. Well, I'm lucky enough to say that cloud is gone, and this unicorn is about as lively as she can get.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And really, I mean, I no idea how happy I am for you. That's awesome. Okay, Brenda.
Well, we all deserve it, and inner work will bring happiness and bring our lives to our highest good. And I believe I'm walking my highest good. I am doing what. I wrote down my contract. I decided I would do this one day, and here I am.
Yeah,
I'm walking in my power. And I'm thankful for Trish. I'm thankful for the people who are watching us. I'm thankful for Royden, the love of my life, who supports me and gives strength to say, you can do this. You know what you need to do. You don't need nobody to tell you. You know what you're doing.
Yeah, yep. And I do believe that we probably sign that agreement before we came here that we were going to do this, we were going to meet up at this time and there, or we were going to do this and that, and that's how things work, and we're strategically.
I hold Trish's hand till we're called back home.
Yep.
We're here
Same
to do
here.
this.
Same here. And we, all of us light workers and the ones that do the instructional videos and the live videos and the teachings and all of this, we are strategically, you have to see this, we are strategically placed in different places of the world. It's like one's here, one's there. It's all on. I really wish I could do a map of where people are. And you know what? Maybe that's my research.
Where's all our light workers? Yeah. Make a map because we look like the Earth at night with the stars.
Exactly.
Amid the lights.
It looks like a grid.
Like the beacons of light around the Earth. That's the light workers, and we are strategically placed. You're right.
And it's like a grid.
We're not all in one area.
Yeah, we're like a grid. Yeah. So
yes, we're a beacon. Yep. We're a beacon grid.
maybe that's my homework. At some point, I can sit down and just see where everybody's at and where these speakers are that do the speaking like we do, and see what location they are. Now, I know that each one of us has a reach that's probably worldwide. Right? There's people from Australia, Canada, New England on here, let alone some of the other countries over, I'm sure, but maybe that's something that I can do at some point, is see and connect the grid. I bet you we make a grid.
Yeah, it would be nice
to
be able to show that, we are strategically placed.
Absolutely.
I believe that.
Sure.
Because it just took me like 2 or 3 days ago to realize that, us light workers are few and far between.
Yeah.
Because
I did realize how
to realize that everyone didn't wake up and
say,
well, what can I do to heal our community today? Well, I do.
Yep, I do.
Where can I send my love?
Right.
And to the Middle East right now. They need it. I send it to Australia.
Right.
For their fires.
Right. Right. You know what? Actually, that is something that we can do if you want to. It just came to my mind here. I'm sure it was one of my guides, Mary. Let's have a moment of silence for that. Let's do a moment of silence for Iran, okay? And what's the situation there? And then let's do a moment for as well for the fires that are going on in Australia right now, which they have come out and said publicly that they believe him to be a sin. So, but that's beside the point. So let's have a moment. And let's all focus. So how to create that love is the best way is get a picture in your mind of the thing that you love. That could be a person, a place, a thing, a planet, a food, whatever. don't care of an animal, a pet, you know, whatever. The thing you love the most in this world or past life, whatever. Create that feeling of love. Create that feeling of love. Feel it. And then send love over to these areas. Then send love and healing and light over to these areas, because then you're in a place of sending love, okay? So let's all do that for a moment, okay? I'm gonna bow my head. You guys do the same, and we'll be back in a minute. Okay, okay.
Beautiful.
I agree. And I know that's not long enough. Nothing's ever long enough, I don't think. But, you know what I'll do, actually, is, I know it's going to be late, but I think after we're done here, I may create another feed and get some candles and kind of set up a little place here, and it'll just be a live feed open for peace and love, so whoever pops in can understand that you're meant to come in there and, you know, create your love and send it. And then I'll keep that open for a while after, so it won't be me up here talking. It'll just be a view of some candles and some crystals, some nice things, and that way everybody can kind of do their part and pitch in and come and go. So because I don't feel like that was nearly long enough, but there are people that are going to be watching the live feed on replay too, so they'll catch that and be able to send over. So, but
yeah, send the love. Yeah. It's needed.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's a good place just to start. You know, just so you guys know too. You know, my guides. I've been asking my guides a lot about the situation over there, and we're not going into World War III, so you guys know. So everybody can calm down on that, but I just kind of wanted to clear that up because that's all I've been seeing. Don't create
that's all
that
I've
idea.
Been seeing too, but I don't.
Yeah, don't engage.
I don't feel like that's the solution either.
No, don't engage, because you're seeing that for a reason, because they want you to do that. They want you to think that, and then wherever the majority of the consciousness
they want you to
is,
live in fear, because
yeah,
the cabal lives on that energy,
right.
the fear.
They're wanting us to manifest it, so it was deliberately put in our place, in our line of view, so that we see it and ponder it and think on it, and then you put that with fear, and then you manifest that fear, you know. So don't even engage.
And if it makes you feel ugly, if you're watching the news and they're, you know, talking about World War III or whatever, and it makes you feel ugly, it's time to turn the TV off.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And that's when you need to recenter and send love to whatever just made you feel ugly. If it's thought of, you know, World War III, send some love to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because as long as we're feeding the masses fear,
and that's what we get. Right, yeah, and they're feeding on it, and that's what we get. Absolutely. Yep, we
need to remember that, because a lot of people don't really get that. A lot of it's a smoke screen. They need that energy. The energy is weakened because now that, you know, a lot of light workers have come out, witches have come out, people are coming out, the esoteric world has opened up. It's not hidden anymore. People are more aware of it. They're coming out there saying, I am a witch, I am the grandmother of the witches that were burned. Yeah, we are. The light workers, we're here.
Absolutely.
The star seeds, we're here.
Yep.
And as that opens up, the love is diminishing the energy, the fear energy that they thrive on.
Yep.
We are knocking that out by sending love, and if it makes us feel ugly, turn it off. If you're talking about something and it makes you feel bad, don't talk about it. Send that place love.
Absolutely.
If you're, you know, sitting around with your best friend and all of a sudden you bring up like your relationship and it's terrible and it makes you feel ugly, Send your
Absolutely.
relationship love. That's where healing needs to go. If it feels ugly, send it love. It needs healing.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. I'm
You
just,
have to feel it to erase it.
yep. Oh, so on YouTube, I've been missing some comments. I apologize, guys. My live feed was not allowing me to see that. Okay.
Hello, everybody on YouTube. Happy 2020.
All right. Looks like we
Welcome.
Looks like just as much as everybody else does. So moving on from that. Okay. All right.
I mean, touching on the whole troll thing. I mean, that's just, the fear-face factor.
Exactly.
Oh, you're wrong, you're this, you're that. Me and Trisha are not up here saying we have degrees, that we know everything, that we're know-it-alls. We're not up here saying that. We're saying we're humans.
Exactly.
We're star seeds.
Yep.
We're light workers. We know what we know, and we're here to help, and if it helps, fine.
Yep.
I don't understand if you can't help someone, don't hurt them.
Yeah, and if you don't like what we're talking about, then just scroll on, move on. That's okay. But we're not going to engage, right? Matt on here. There's a gentleman named Matt. He says, "I've heard that it only takes like 500 people worldwide to be experiencing peace at the same time for the whole world to be at peace." That's not wrong. Absolutely. And I do know that there was all the think tanks that came out in the World War II era. William Tompkins was talking about the think. He was told that those 17 people that were in there had the power to stop World War II. Okay, so praying and thoughts and positive thoughts and loving thoughts and stuff, they had the power to stop it. So 500 people, you're not wrong. Yeah. You're not wrong at all.
That could change the whole world. He's right.
Right, absolutely. I don't even watch the news anymore. He said, no, I don't either. I've been kind of on Twitter a little bit just because I want to see what's going on. I want to correlate it with the energies.
But, we don't want to be completely ignorant.
Exactly, but I'm watching it with a grain of salt because I'm reading between the lines because there's a lot more going on around this, behind the scenes than what we're being told. There's a lot of galactic family involvement. There's a lot of things that are not out in the public, but they're happening to destroy the powers that be that are trying to control us. It's not about this or that we're being told it's about. It's got nothing to do with it. So it's about trying to destroy the powers that are trying to control us. So, or that they think they can control us. So, but now is the time.
Well, that's the thing. They think, that's what you said.
Exactly.
And that's right, that they can control us when the masses are waking up.
Exactly, they are. Absolutely.
We're woke.
Right.
But we have many stages that are waking up, and they're going to understand that how could you have, when you're in the matrix and you're into it, you don't know that there's another way, and then when you walk out and say, how could I have believed that? How could I have been stuck there so long? That's the thing about awakening. You can't go back to only watching the news, to only believing what you see on TV. There's no possible way.
No,
because
once
you know that it feels ugly, it feels wrong, it's not the truth. You can't go back to that.
No, once you see it, you can't unsee it. Right.
Going, that's not right. You're smoke screening us.
Yes.
What are you really trying to hide from us?
Exactly. Do you guys see, and I'm going to say this, and honestly, I've got to the point where if you don't like that I'm going to say this, I'm fine with that because this is coming from my guides. This is coming from my loving source. This is coming from... But people in mainstream media are mourning the loss of a terrorist, and they are trying to support almost. They're trying to support that government. What? Please see this. It's right there in front of our eyes. Right there. That ain't right. Come on. That ain't right. And you guys realize that before the current president is in office, the U.S. was sending them millions and billions of dollars, but whenever he got into the office, that stopped because obviously it wasn't right. I mean, we were funding them and they supply terrorists. We were funding them. Hello, guys, wake up. But that stopped. Please see this. Please see this, for the love of God. I mean, really. I do believe some of those very recent things that has happened to bring that to light, so that hopefully the world can see that they are supporting this. Okay? Or that they were supporting that governmental regime. I mean, Matt says it's all mind control. They've been keeping people divided over meaningless political ideology. Absolutely. That's what they want, is division. So when they bring up subjects like war and attacks, this and that, there's also a lot of false flag attacking going on where things happen, and it just so magically happens sometimes around the time that, gee, I don't know, there's an impeachment going on, or gee, I don't know, somebody's being found out about, pedophile rings and stuff. Yeah,
goes out for 17 hours.
That's right. That's something I wanted to talk about too. I completely forgot. I was going to bring that up earlier, but our Schumann residents,
to the energy that's coming in too. I mean, and the people, like, the cloud formation, seeing the ships in the skies all around the world. Like, people are looking in the skies now. People are recognizing, they're realizing
absolutely
that what is really happening as we're coming close to disclosure. So why not start trouble in the Middle East?
Yes.
Why not smoke screens?
Right. They need something to pay attention to that's really bad, so that we can do this over here. Yeah. Come on.
Get the mass hysteria going.
Exactly.
The fear again.
Exactly. Come on, guys. I mean,
send them love. I send them love. I don't send them bombs. If they're bombs, they'll be bombs of love.
Our love, yes, our love, our light, our love, our light, is the one thing that's going to stop all of that. The one thing. They have become so far separated from God, from Source, that it almost hurts them. Because they are so far separated, they've just dug themselves a hole that's nothingness, So they're so far separated that if you mention God, Source, and His energy, the energy literally hurts them. So love and light and gratefulness, like I said, is the only thing that's going to stop what's going on and create more of a peaceful like world, which is what we're after.
Yep. Something just really hit me when Matt talked about the mind control. All of a sudden, I felt the need to talk about the 5G towers.
Oh, yes, thank you, yes.
I would like to say something about the 5G towers.
Sure.
First of all, we don't need them. And anybody who thinks that we do are only, first of all, they work for a corporation. Verizon, Sprint, whoever. They're pushing 5G. Yep. We don't need it.
And they're puppets too,
The world does not need 5G because they only want 5G to come back and hurt us. And that is the real truth.
Yep. And those CEOs of those companies are puppets too.
What is it called when you want to stop something? I don't know why. It's either then that's another thing that's going on with this ascension. The mind doesn't want to come out the mouth. When you petition against something, what's the word I'm looking for? Anyways.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Rioting against 5G. We don't need it. Nobody needs 5G. Your phones do not need 5G. Our bodies do not need 5G. Our environment, our children do not need 5G.
I do know.
And that is right there, mind control, what Matt was talking about.
Yes.
Right, follows on that line. And I'm sorry, but it might, all of a sudden it was like, talk about the 5G towers.
Speaking of that, oh my gosh, yes. I did find out more about the 5G. So the first thing is I already knew that they tested them somewhere, and this was overseas somewhere. So we're in the United States, so it would have been more Europe, Asia type area. I'm not exactly sure where, but they did test them. And like all the birds in a certain radius literally fell down and to their deaths. But the other thing that I wanted to talk about, and then it has not been tested on humans that we know of, so why would you want to display something like this when it has not been tested on humans, when it's been known to have birds fall to.
You know, they can use guided missiles because of the 5G towers. They
Yeah,
need them.
which, okay, but, you know,
That's a
if
whole
it's
different breed,
gonna,
but we don't need them health-wise
Yep.
for any of our light beings.
But the other thing about this 5G, the other reason why they need it is because it is. I was listening to a podcast which I will find. It is a gentleman that was working on a secret technology, and he is now in hiding because he came out with all of this. He was working on this secret project, and this secret project had a lot to do with energy physics, microphysics, quantum physics, and they discovered an energy that is literally, well, it's like sixth dimensional energy that they somehow came in possession of, and he said it was literally like the voice of God. It was literally like the energy of God. And if you work with this energy, and because they were trying to somehow put this into a technology to use for like consciousness driven technology. So you think it and then it works. You know what I mean? Like it's connected to your consciousness, driven technology, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. See what I mean? It's been happening all week. But God, I can't. Yeah, I see it in my head, and then it just won't come out. Like,
It's like, did my brain just connect to my mouth?
For real.
I've had the hard time articulating what I've had to say lately too.
For real, no, yeah. But so he was working with this technology, and it was like literally in an instant, and for a while after, he was more clairvoyant, he was more clairaudient, he was experiencing a lot of non-physical things, and it was very positive, it was very loving, it was very. I know he said a co-worker that he was working with on the project at the time was like 5 months pregnant, and she went home that night and she could hear her baby humming herself to sleep from the womb.
Wow.
So you can imagine how much trouble that would bring out in political world, you know, when something like that would happen. But the problem is that they are wanting to use this because they found that this energy would be connected to this technology and to you, so it would from you, so that you could control the technical device like an airship or any technology that your computer, you know, you could think, open file, this, that, and then the file would open, you know. But they were wanting to use it with this 5G stuff. Now tell me, what intentions would they have by integrating this with the 5G satellites? Right? I mean, hello, red flag, mind control. They can,
Right.
We would get random thoughts that we would think is our own, but we would have no clue that it wasn't coming from us. No clue. So,
boy, that
you
opens
know what
up
I mean?
a whole nother door too.
I mean, it does.
If you
It's
think
incredible.
about it, we've had murderers for, you know, decades saying I did.
They may be very well telling the truth. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's not far-fetched.
No,
I mean, they
not
have
anymore.
the technology.
Not anymore. Yep, absolutely. That is so. Oh, Dale
And
says
speaking
yes. Get it
of,
right
you know,
with God.
you said,
God is
like,
love.
you know,
Yeah.
opening a door, whatever, with your mind. That's one thing. In my abduction in '97, I noticed that the two aliens that I know now are my star family. Didn't know then, but in '97, with no controls.
Oh, well, it was consciousness infused, I guess. Integrated, consciousness
They
integrated.
stood on it was almost like a light pad,
Okay,
is what I'd have to explain it as.
okay, yeah.
They stood on like a lit up floor pad,
Okay.
and that's how they drove their ships. There was no controls in the ship that I was in.
So I
It was mind
wonder,
control.
yeah, okay.
So, I mean, there is that technology somewhere.
Yeah, well, if you're 1,000 million times years more advanced than human, you know, races,
And
then
they're
you would
using
have
it for
that.
good stuff, not for bad stuff.
Right, sure,
Yeah.
yeah.
Then
Right.
there's the difference.
Right, there's
know?
the difference, right? As opposed to using it for consciousness integrated crafts or technology to
Yes.
heal. Because think about it, if you had consciousness integrated healing chambers and you could say, heal me, I don't know what's wrong with me, but heal me, it would know. It would be consciousness. Your consciousness knows what's wrong with you, whether you physically are aware of it or not. And it could heal
Yes.
that thing right away. So this is a good thing, but they're wanting to take it and completely
It's how
turn
it's
it upside
used.
down.
Everything
Right.
is,
It's how it's
everything is
used.
how it's being used.
Absolutely, it's how it's used. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Oh, Matt says, sorry, I'm not trying to be negative. I think I missed I'm sorry, I missed a comment, so let me go back up. The general population will support it, though. People are addicted to technology. Sure. Even if it does nuke their brains and kill some birds and bees, people want better toys. And I'm sorry, I have to agree with you. You're right, though. Yeah.
You're right.
They see something
I mean, but
better
that's
and
what
they don't
want.
care. Right.
I mean, that's what they want.
Yeah, that's
Isn't
what
that
they want.
corporations
Right.
have done all along.
Because people know those people know that we're gonna go with it because it's a more farther advanced technology. You know, we think we're
Keeping
getting a
up with
good
the
thing.
Joneses.
Yeah, right, exactly. We think we're getting a good thing by faster and better, but you know, in the long run, that's why they're adding this stuff to that, so that we know that they know that we'll buy it because of that. So, and we're not even gonna know. You know, that it's very frustrating, but. This guy is, you know, in hiding because he wanted to talk about it and warn everybody. You know what I mean? And so he's hiding his fear for his life. So, but
which is
God love
always
him.
the scariest thing.
Oh yeah,
like
absolutely.
When you know a truth and
right.
and it radiates, in your soul, and you feel like you need to tell the world.
Right.
And then there's always that fear.
Right. Yep. And not have fear that something will happen to us, because the people that we are worried and concerned that might come in and repossess, or whatever the word is for that. I'm not understanding what they're saying there. Their reign will be no longer soon. So, and this is exactly why the things that are happening right now are happening, because there is a liberation narrative at stake. So, but I will say also, and this is me speaking again, whenever I had my spontaneous awakening and my near-death experiences, I was shown that and such years from now, we are living in a golden age. That part I know.
Yes, me too.
So,
I have been shown that also.
Yeah, I've been shown the golden age, and me living my life out in a golden age with technology that we don't have to pay for, because it should be free anyway, because nobody owns the air, nobody owns the energy. So
they gave us that
eons
ago.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. I mean, it came with it.
Down by the same people who want to feed us 5G.
Right. It came with the planet. So I mean, it wasn't an add-on. It came with the planet. So so. What they're saying, though, is that pretty soon here, we're not going to have to worry about being in fear of saying anything. All of this stuff is going to come out, and the powers that be are not going to be the powers that be, and we will be living exactly how most of us have been working towards to live. So, oh yeah. And there will be, what comes with that is a race that is aware, awake, compassionate, understanding, peaceful, and a race that does wake up in the morning and say, what can I do to heal today, or what can I do to help somebody today? Wouldn't you love that? I mean, really, that's what we should be focusing on. That's what we should be manifesting, not World War III. So just take that out of your equation. Just take it out of your equation. So do not focus on that.
Feed into it.
Exactly. Don't feed them what they want. They put that, they feeded that into our life, our social media feeds so that we would focus on that and then be devised and then at war again. You guys do
And
realize.
it's easy to look on your Facebook and to see that many
Yeah.
will.
Oh,
and
yeah.
feed right into it.
Exactly.
And it's like,
exactly. You get sucked in.
I
so,
send love and I go right by.
Exactly.
We can't do that.
Exactly.
We're not helping anybody or
Right.
Mother Gaia by
Exactly.
feeding into it. I
Nope.
refuse to put my energy where it does not belong.
Yep. And you guys realize, and I'll have to find the information that I found on it, but there was a disclosure about to happen in 1940. Or, no, I'm sorry, it was 41. There was a disclosure that was going to happen in 1941. And what in the hell do you think happened in 1941?
WW2.
Yeah. Yep. So let's not allow them to take that away from us again. You know, we deserve this. We've
Right.
worked for this. You know, we have
We've
worked hard.
for this.
So don't lose our focus now. Okay, don't let ourselves get sucked into this madness and division. And if it's anything that you focus on in that area, it's your love and your light and your healing and your compassion. That is how we're going to change that. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And then Matt said something else here. That would be awesome. I want to live in a world like that. Me too. I know my daughter just loves people, and she wants to go up to anybody and hug them, even if she knows them or not. And we had to stop it because stranger danger. And then I thought about it, and I'm like, that's horrible that I had to stop her from hugging everybody and spreading her love because of this world right now. I said I should have never have to do that. I want her to live in a world where she can go up and hug everybody. You know what I'm saying? So, we got a visitor at the door, I think. No.
Is it Mr. Eli?
Probably. I think Daddy got him now. Yeah, it is Mr. Eli. I think Matt's got him, so, okay.
Yeah.
I think anyway. Uh-oh.
Hey, Mommy.
Yeah, I might have to pause for a minute. You hear him knocking?
It's understandable if you do.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, Larissa, I'll pass the cue to you.
Okay.
If you want to start talking about, maybe your Syrian race or Lyrian race, and then just kind of build up on our conversation from last time. Or talk about anything
Absolutely.
extra dimensional or something like that. And I'm going to go take care of this really quick, guys. But
Absolutely.
I know
Hi there.
the only thing is Larissa can't see the comments, unfortunately. So if there is any comments or questions whenever I get back, I'll kind of go over that. So, okay. All right. I'll be back, guys.
Hi there, guys. Happy 2020. Larissa Cosmos here. Today we decided we would go on to finish our conversation about ETs and disclosure, because both Trish and I and our guides are telling us that disclosure is around the corner. And, we just want to remind you to not be distracted with what's going on. And I touched on one of my abductions, I believe it was on the 21st when we were on last. I'd like to talk more about my Syrian race, that there are plenty of Syrian ships, Palladian ships. We have many ships in our sky right now, and I did hear earlier when she was reading comments that people are seeing cloud formations, and that know that our star families are above us right now. Because of what's going on down here, it's going up above, going on up above, and we are protected, and we're working hard towards making this a new earth for all of us to live in love and light. That it's not just a goal of a few; it's a goal of many. Like, this is what we are here to do. We're here to change this life. And in '97, in my first abduction, I was just talking earlier about the technology. When Trish said that, to consciousness to opening a shelf or whatever. Well, that I know that my star family, the Sirians, they drove ships that were completely controlled by their consciousness. And when I was abducted at the time, I was really confused because when you're growing up, we're always shown on TV or the media that all aliens must look gray. They must look like the Greys. So at the time when me and my sister was abducted in 97, I was confused by what I was seeing. Not only the ship didn't surprise me. It wasn't exactly the ship that they always showed. It was silver, yes. It had big windows, and I could clearly see the two alien beings that were controlling the ship that was following us. I don't remember, being taken up into the ship. I do remember seeing the aliens and being really confused because all my life I was under the impression that they were all gray and that all aliens must look like E.T. or, off the show E.T. when I was growing up in the 80s. E.T. must have been what the aliens look like. Now that it's, more widely known that there are other species and we're not ignorant to know that we're not the only people in the whole galaxy, that's just us, I learned that the Sirian family aliens that I was in contact with looked humanoid. They weren't skinny. They weren't skinny or anorexic or bulimic looking like, you see on TV. They were average built, humanoid species. The only real difference was the size of their eyes were large, and their head was much larger than us humans. Until 2012 that I was able to clear up the confusion of these aliens, because for the longest time, it didn't matter if I watched Ancient Aliens or I watched different documentaries on aliens, I never really seen the aliens that I was in contact with. So to me, that was really confusing. It actually live missiles all over. So, for the longest time, I was like, was this some kind of government, project? Did they take me in my December 21st about me astral traveling while I was dreaming? And that is when Osiris from Sirius had come to me and had told me that was my Sirian family. An experience with a being in your presence, and first of all, you're going to have a little fear, and you're going to be scared because you're going to see something you've never seen before. But once you move beyond the fear, your soul will recognize the being, if it's a being of love and light. You are not going to ever question the being that is coming to you, whether they're good or bad, because you're going to feel the love. Like when I was picked up and abducted in 97 with my sister, the first thing was fear. Like we were being chased by this, spaceship. I was terrified.
Sure.
Absolutely terrified. I could look at these beings, and these beings just look like humanoids with big heads. It's I was terrified.
Mm-hmm.
The fear is going to come, but hopefully that you'll eventually get the answers that you will question, and they're coming faster now. I had to wait years for an answer to who had picked me up, and why. Well, there was my star family. They had come to upgrade us for the ascension they knew was coming.
Yes.
They had to start preparing us for what was coming. And to this day, my sister, yes, she was abducted. She was touched by this UFO experience different than me. I'm stepping out. I've accepted what happened to me, that I'm bringing it forward. She could never do that. My little sister's shy. If you don't know my sister, she's not going to ever come on here and probably ever talk about being with me. But before I ever told about my abduction story, I got permission from my sister.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted her to know that I was going to expose what had happened to us, and that not all abductions are, I'm going to say visitations, because I visited my family.
Yeah.
That they may come first as scary, but to welcome them, because they're going to start coming to us. A lot of us here on Earth are not only Earthlings, but we are star seeds.
Absolutely.
And we have family that is looking out for us, and we need our light bodies. Our bodies need help as we move. Our Earth is moving. There's not, just like the escalator belt I talked about earlier. We are moving with it.
Yes.
We cannot resist what is coming, because either we're going to take care of it, and if we take care of it, our star family is going to come help us. Our guides are going to help us. Our higher self is going to be here to guide us along. If we are resisting it, we are going to be in a lot of trouble, because
Absolutely.
we have got to move with the belt.
Absolutely.
Mother Gaia is moving. We are on her. We're moving with her.
Yeah.
And to ascend, like that's what I said. My family came in '97. Yes, they took both me and my sister. She's being upgraded differently than
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, and
But
we're
we
all
know that there was a spark of the ascension. This was coming.
Sure. And we're all on different levels of this journey. We're none one of us are on the same level. There's people that are experienced more and have more knowledge downloads, and then there's people that are just starting and are a little bit of ways through. And
Hey, Mom, you gotta tell my friend here about your UFO abduction. And I'd be like, don't tell your friends about my UFO abduction, because their family is going to say, you can't hang out with that kid. His mom's crazy.
Right. And
there was a time in our life that we couldn't talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can't stop me anymore.
Yeah.
This is real. This is true. This has happened. This is happening more and more to people.
Right.
The masses were going.
We cannot ignore it
when
anymore.
You were gone, Tricia, I was trying to explain to them how I was fearful. I didn't know what these beings were. That our viewers, now that we were talking about, this veil is getting thinner.
Right.
People are going to start getting gifts that they didn't know they have.
Exactly.
They're going to start seeing things they haven't seen.
Right.
Don't come with them as fear. Come with them as love.
Right.
And if there is something to fear, your initial response is going to be fear, because it's going to be something you never
because
seen.
we're told that this stuff doesn't exist. Right.
We're going to know if this is, comes from love.
Right.
And,
because, we're
should
told
not be frightened, because they can't show us all what everything looks like, all species, because they don't know.
Right. They don't know either. They've only can tell us.
Nobody showed me what my Syrian family looked like, so I didn't know if it was an alien or the government. And I had to learn that it was my star family, because nobody showed me on any TV what my Syrian family looked like.
Right. And they don't know everybody else either. They've only can tell us the star system humans or beings that they've come in contact with. They don't know everything either.
And not all of our star beings are working with our government.
You're right. You are right. Absolutely.
Or our media.
Right. Or the media. Right. And we're told that this stuff doesn't exist, so of course our natural first visceral reaction is going to be fear. Matt has a few questions here that I want to very good questions here on YouTube.
Well, thank you, Matt.
Yeah, he says, I'd like to meet them. I think I could do it without much fear. Would love to find out what I can do to help repair human consciousness or transcendent. Is there any specific way to reach out to them? All you need to do is, and it's a process. Yes, and it is a process, because you would want to do some personal work first. I would recommend
to raise your vibration.
To raise your vibration.
Can only go down so far.
Yes, and that's also to decrease the amount of first visceral reaction of fear as well. So if you transcend some of your own personal fear and can react better to certain situations, which your guides are already putting you in circumstances to test that for you, to test it how you're going to react, if you're going to react from fear or if you're going to react from understanding and love. If you haven't noticed that, and it's happening to all of us, we are being put in certain predicaments to see how we were going to react or respond. Okay. So we would want to get to a place where, due to any circumstance we are put in, that we would react less of fear, so that whenever we do have contact, that it wouldn't be as much for the sake of you, because they don't want to.
Let's remind Matt that he found us and he is here.
Right. Oh yeah.
So that's step one.
Oh yeah. Step one has already been done. Right. You were led to this live feed. That was number one. So And
Good job, Matt.
yes, and they don't want to scare us. That's not why they're coming. They want to help us. They had to go through their own transcend to get where they are. So they've been here. They know exactly what we're going through
And that's another
what it
life
comes.
that you just brought up, that we're fed to us. But they're here to help us.
Yes.
Yes, there are aliens that are out to hurt us. But the majority of them are here to help us.
Right. I'd say 95% good and 5% bad.
Yes.
So 95% of them just want to help.
Because they say yin and yang, but when it comes to that, I really think that we have more here that are helping us than ever want to hurt us.
Absolutely. They just want to help us. They've been there. Yes. They know what it's like. They also kind of want to...
They've invested in us.
Yeah, they have, yeah. You're right. And they also want to experience it with us because they also would get kind of an upgrade whenever the event does happen. So, but they also want to get to know more about our species, because if you were to go to another world living on another planet with a different type of human or a different type of being, wouldn't you want to know about them? Wouldn't you want to know what they do for a living? Yes. And wouldn't you want to know what their likes and dislikes are and their habits and they may have habits.
Do they come from fear-based or love-based?
Yeah, exactly. They want to know about us. They want to help us, based on our likes and dislikes and our hobbies. And wouldn't you want to do that? I mean, if you went to a different world and you had this race of beings, and I want to know all about you. What do you like? What do you guys do for fun? Yes, especially if they come from love, or if they're getting ready to go through their transcendence. That's what I would do, right? So I know that's kind of what they're wanting to do with us. They just want to know us and help us. So. And that's why some of them have become our guides.
And Matt's on the right track.
Yeah. Opening up.
Still here. He's still listening.
Yeah.
And to know that, he does his karmic garbage.
Yep.
And starts erasing that. He'll start raising his vibrations.
Yep.
The negative, the fear, all that will stop holding him down.
Absolutely.
And, when his star family... If he believes he is a starseed, and he'll know that you can't deny
I can say that he is, right.
You hear the word starseed, you're like, wow, I'm one of them.
That resonates.
You will know that as you. It resonates so deeply.
It goes right through you. Right.
And Matt needs to know that if he does that in a work, he lightens himself up, brings his frequency up, his star family will come down. He just will have to ask, and he just has to do the work. And
right. Yep.
when you raise your vibration, it's so much easier for them to meet you on that frequency.
Absolutely.
It's too dense here. It's too dense here on Earth. All the weight of fear, negativity, hatred, anger.
Yep.
They won't come in that state. They cannot come to us in that state.
Right. Exactly. You got it. That's a good point. You got it. Exactly. When we have too much stuff, too much negative emotion, too much negative anything, it's going to be hard for them, and they're not going to want to anyway, because they don't want to be in proximity of that. They want to be in proximity of more like them.
My guides told me that you have to stay high vibe. You have to do the work.
Yes.
You've got to ground yourself. Because just walking into Walmart will screw me up.
Yeah, well, me too.
You've got to get back to Mother Earth. You've got to go to Mother Gaia and ground that energy and transmute it.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely.
And if you start out with your grounding, and my guide said you have to stay high vibe, because it's too hard for them to communicate if we are in the low vibrations. We are holding ourselves back or letting people hold us down. That is the biggest thing. Do not let people hold you down and give you feelings that are not yours.
Oh yeah.
Because that is the heaviest.
Oh yeah.
That is the heaviest baggage you will carry, is somebody else's fear-based opinions.
Exactly.
Or fear-based restrictions.
Right.
Don't carry that.
Nope.
And if you want to connect to your star family, your guides, your angels,
if you're wanting to initiate some kind of a contact with anything, so first you're probably already getting contact in your dreams, or in deep sleep and that anyway. But
you're getting messages.
So start paying attention to your dreams, number one. Okay, that's your first step. Number two, consciously ask. Consciously say, hey, my soul family, my star family, positive, positive polarized of the light beings, I wish to initiate contact with you. I want to find out what you're all about. I want to find out, how you're here to help. What can you do to help? They're not helping by showing up on the White House lawn. They're helping going around to people, contacting with people, and showing them how to erase their karma and erase their negative emotions, and so they can transcend themselves. They don't help on a physical level by pulling you up and, taking you out from where you are and saving you. That's not what they're going to do. There's nobody coming in to save us except showing us how to save ourselves. So consciously ask. I'd really like to know. I'd really like to meet you. I'd really like to form a relationship with you. What would you like to know about me?
I'd like to know my starseed origin. Where do I come from?
Exactly. And you'll start seeing now. I'll tell you, when you say that, one isn't just going to show up in your room, okay, at the end of your bed saying hi. It doesn't work that way. Because you would be totally, blown back and just feared. You wouldn't even know what to do. So you'd be frozen probably. So that isn't going to happen that way. Instead, it happens little by little. Okay, your guides will give you breadcrumbs and lead you to certain information that is truthful so that you can have a knowledge of this or that going into that, and knowledge on how to break down your fear and eradicate your fear and your karma. And then it'll slowly pay attention to those breadcrumbs, okay? Pay attention. Angel numbers.
Yeah, like say you're a vegan from the planet Vega, and next thing you're driving down the road and you see a 1978 Vega.
Yes. There you go.
Or like for me, I'm from Sirius. What if the Sirius XM radio commercial keeps coming up, or are you serious? Or something about just the word serious keeps radiating. Those are ways and things that you want to pay attention to, because your guides and your star family will point you, like maybe you'll all of a sudden you'll be hearing about the dog star. Well, what's the dog star? What's the brightest star in the sky? That's Sirius.
Yep, exactly.
There are things and other ways that you are being led to.
Absolutely.
Or like Trish says,
absolutely.
Breadcrumbs.
Yep. Breadcrumbs.
Either you'll hear a starseed, like one day you'll be like, oh, I'm from Orion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from Lyra. I'm from Lyran.
Yep.
The Lyrans that live with the Syrians. You'll just hear these, like a word that you sometimes don't even know what it means, and you have to look it up, and you're like, wow,
and that's how it happened to me. I was just driving one day, and the word Arcturian just kept repeating in my mind. And I had asked the previous day, what am I? And I already had my my spontaneous, awakening near-death experience, but a lot of it I didn't remember at first, and I kept saying, I know I'm a starseed, what am I? And then the next day, the word Arcturian literally repeated over and over in my head until I got home, and then so of course then I had to look up what it meant, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and the first thing that come up is, are you an Arcturian starseed? Whatever. I'm like, okay, all right then. Thank you for the answer.
That's been with me when I found out in 2012 that I was from Sirius. Next thing you know, I'm on YouTube and I keep, I'm running across this stuff like, what are the traits of a Syrian starseed? Blah, 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 blah. It's like, oh, wow, like things I had never seen. But those things will start popping up in your everyday reality. And that's how you will get a lot of confirmation that way.
Yes.
And it will resonate with you.
Oh, yes. And so first you get the confirmation, and then you'll start having some experiences. You might see something out of the corner of your eye, or start seeing little sparkles or flashes. That's a kind of a sign that they're around you. And again, you'll have lucid dreaming where you're talking with beings, possibly. And then, again, most of it is going to be you breaking through your fears and your traumas, honestly. That's how you prepare the most. and then it might, the experiences will slowly get more physical as time goes on. So that way you're acclimated instead of just showing up in your room at the end of your bed or on your bed, sitting there with you. That's traumatizing. So you've got to get to that point slowly but surely.
I'm talking about being, like traumatizing. Like, it's funny because I don't know why when you said that, like it took me back to things as a child.
Yeah.
Another thing that when I was told I was serious come up that'll also identify with who you are. I just had to bring that up because it was like, I loved that song when I was a child. Didn't know why, just loved to sing it. And then I get into my 40s and it hits me like a ton of bricks.
Yep.
That's
like,
why.
oh my gosh, yeah.
They were already trying to tell
They were
me.
already, right. And if you really look back, I mean, it's been your whole life. It really has. For everybody, it's been your whole life. I mean, if we really go back and start looking at things a little more closer, I was the generation that grew up first getting home computers. I'm showing my age a little bit. But we had this very old, one of the first home computers that was like, this big in the back and, big old tube screen and big old tower,
Apples.
And it wasn't Apple, but I can't remember what it was. I think it was the oldest Gateway. But, but then it had, and it had like 1 megabyte of, memory, it was crazy. But, anyway, we started getting the dial-up internet started, right? And each of us have our own password. And I was 9 or 10, maybe even younger than that, 8 or 9 maybe. And we had to choose our own password. And I had a hell of a time trying to choose my own password, something so simple, but I wanted it to be unique. I had never had to make a password before, so I didn't know. Well, I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I thought about it, and finally I got it. I said, nobody will ever think of this one. And it just came to me randomly, and it wasn't like I was awake back then. It wasn't like I knew of phrases or anything like that, but a random thought came in, and I said, that's it. My first password was, the key is love. And you know why? Number one, I was picking that up from my guides probably. They're finally like, use that, but they knew that I would be typing that in over and over again as my password to get into my account over and over again. So every time I had to do that, I repeated that word in my mind, that phrase in my mind. The key is love, the key is love. So it was like I was being like prepared and, what's the word for it? Trained and everything from earlier on, but pay attention to those, my point, with that is pay attention to those random thoughts, because the random thoughts that we're having, a lot of the times, they're our guides and our angels, they're breadcrumbs, and a lot of people think if I don't hear it in their voice, it's not happening. It's my voice. I don't hear anything. It's my own voice. Well, they're using your voice.
That's your higher self.
Right.
They're using your, yes.
Yeah, and your higher self as well. Yeah, they're using your voice, because if you were to start hearing some, Alabama man preacher deep voice in your head, what do you think you would do first?
Right. Question your sanity.
Yeah, so they're not going to do that. Okay, they don't like all of us light workers locked up in a mental home. So,
right.
Not all of them.
What are we good there? We're not no good there.
No, so they break in a little easier, right? So they use their own thoughts, and like Larissa said, it's your higher self as well, absolutely. Mm-hmm. So they're slowly acclimating us. Now, as you gain in knowledge and raise your vibration higher and higher and higher, you will start eventually to hear a different tone in the voice or something like that, but usually it's still kind of your voice, but it might just have an extra tone in it or something. It's really hard to describe, so...
and your guides definitely use your own voice also.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
But the thing is when they do come through, you always have like, they told me, I heard. It's never like, well, Larissa said.
Yeah. Right. No, you're right.
Said,
you're
Larissa
right.
heard. I always just like, they said. because
Right.
it's they. I have a team. It's not one person. It's they said,
Right.
they said, they said. So
Exactly.
they to me is me hearing them through my voice.
Exists, right, exactly. And I think that's where a lot of people get confused. It's because people are saying I heard or they said, they think that it's from outside you. It's, you know, Larissa was standing, my guide Mary was standing here and saying something to me, and that's not really, I mean, she is here, but it's telepathic. Yeah, it's right. So this is something we got to keep in mind. And I think I might have to pause again. I think I have a visitor at my door again. So, let's talk about. Well, what did you want to talk about, Larissa? Did you want to talk about anything else while I go work on Eli?
You know, I could talk about a lot of things.
Yeah.
I've been pummeled since we've been on air since the 21st.
Oh, why don't you?
I was just trying to, you know, talk about, you know, when you left, about people who are being contacted, you know, you know, media is not going to show you every being out there. I mean, I could go on that. I could talk about energies. I could talk to our viewers if you got to go deal with little lovely little baby boy.
Yeah. Well, just carry on, I guess, and then that's a good one. And then if you want, you can talk about that movie, The Beyond, and what's in that movie. Yeah.
I could talk about The Beyond.
Yeah. Because I did watch it earlier after we talked, and that's a good one. Absolutely. Okay.
Absolutely. So.
Yes. All right, I will be back, and I'll.
We're talking about a lot that's been going on. We've been talking about the media.
Yeah.
You know, us trying not to feed into the fear of what they're bringing.
Right.
But also to be aware that our government does know about what's going on above us, and
definitely
opening up, and the technology. It's kind of scary. We watched a documentary
I'll be
on
back, okay.
TV
I'll be
the other
back.
night. If you have Roku, you can go to Tubi TV, and it's free. It's on Roku, and go to a documentary called The Beyond. It's NASA talking about opening up a lot of things that the government does know about. Also, opening up to tell us, the people, that they do know that we are not the only, you know, they say, oh, we're going to the moon, we're going to go, you know, explore Mars, blah, blah, blah. In all reality, they've already been there. They've explored it. And it actually validates what me and Trish have been talking about since we decided to go live, and, you know, that we are going to the beyond, and that we do know there's, you know, life beyond here. And I just think for people who don't know, or are questioning or curious, to definitely take the time to watch that documentary. It's mind-blowing, even for someone who is aware of a lot of things that we're not being told or being shown. Pretty mind-blowing what's going on, and you know, disclosure is coming out with the truth, and us, to be honest, trying to tell a lot of, I think it's part truth. I think they've opened up the pathway to talk about what they know, but I don't think everything was put in. I don't think everything was put in. I don't think it's possible to do that, and probably not in an hour and a half show, but it's a good place to start. If you're questioning or just curious, take the time to watch the show, The Beyond, on Tubi TV. Very, very eye-opening, mind-blowing. But Trish asked what I wanted to talk about. I kind of really want to talk about the energies that have been around. I know we touched on it earlier, but I just want you to be aware that if you're feeling sick, kind of be aware of where the sickness is coming from. Is it in your sinuses? Is it in your throat? Is it in your stomach? Is it in your colon? Yes, those are physical sicknesses. Maybe you picked up a virus, or maybe you have something else going on. But I want you to be aware that the energy is changing, and it has been changing since January 1st. It's really erratic, and that were having physical symptoms, and they could show up as the flu or rashes or feeling like bugs are crawling all over you. If it's or the ringing in your ears is just unbearable. First of all, you can acknowledge it. I mean, if you're sick and you have to take the medicine, fine. My home remedy is cut up onions. Put onions on your feet at night when you sleep. Put onions in your room to suck up the viruses. Believe it or not, onions are a miracle. Put onions in your life. It helps with the virus. But also know that there are things that are happening beyond our energy that we're not able to see, but our bodies have energy, and that we're experiencing, and the sickness from the energies that are coming in, and to know that it'll pass. And um, if there's anything we can do to help you to understand that not everything that goes on in this world can we see, but we are being affected by it.
Oh yeah,
Just
definitely.
as we are being affected by what's going on in the Middle East, it's uproaring the people around the globe. Even though it's not in our backyard, we're being affected by it, by the media, as well as the energy of our bodies. We don't see that energy. Well, some of us do. Some people do see the energy. But to know that our bodies will respond to what is coming in, whether we see it or not,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
that sometimes we just need to ground a little bit more. Like the sickness, say that you have the stomach flu. If you could take the time, in your morning, evening, whenever you are feeling the sickness, to take the time to ground to Mother Gaia and to exchange that energy and to release that through your sacral chakra, or like I said, say you're having constipation, release it through your root chakra. If you are able to take the time to release the things that are causing the sickness in your body, sometimes you don't know, like you have a sore throat, but maybe you had an argument with your boss and you didn't tell your boss how you felt. That stuff is going to collect in your throat chakra. And if you can't release the argument with your boss because you feel like you're going to lose your job, then just take the time to meditate and ask your guides and your higher self to clear that energy out and to send that space love. Those things will heal your physical symptoms in your body, because whether you know it or not, see it or not, your body feels it.
Absolutely.
Your body is going to respond to the energy. It's going to respond to the energy that's coming in from outer space, the solar flares, the CMEs, all that stuff is going to pummel our body. We're going to be affected by it, but we're also going to be affected by our environment that we live in, our work environment, our home environment. All those energies have to be transmuted, and I just really wanted you to be aware of the energy, because it's really so erratic. And I also want the people to be aware that energy is on a grid. And if something, say what is going on in the Middle East, which God, I pray that it doesn't come and affect us here in the United States or wherever. But if it did, and just say that the power grid went down, I just think it's a good idea that our viewers are aware of purifying our water, how to start a fire, how to stay warm, because we never know what's going to happen. I mean, a CME could knock out our electricity. The big scare of WW3 could knock out our electricity. We don't know what could take down our grid. It'd be a solar flare. It could be, so many things could take down our grid. There's energy
in a second,
on Earth and up above us. Just to be aware to.
Oh yes, in a second.
Instead of taking it with fear, to be prepared. Be prepared that we might have to start a fire to cook our.
That came out. I was a little girl whenever those were coming out, so that's what I watched.
I think it was 78 when the original Star Wars came out, and I watched it in the movie theater.
Okay.
So I think it was 78.
Okay, and I think
everybody wanted to be Princess.
Well, yeah, of course, yeah. And then everybody wanted.
Yoda. I loved Yoda and his wisdom.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yoda,
And then my generation, everybody wanted to be Padme. So, oh yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
And then now my kids, of course, two of them are kind of too young yet, but the oldest one, my kids are, connecting with the newer movies that are coming out now. So, oh yeah, which are wonderful as well. And now this whole Baby Yoda thing is You know,
Right.
gosh.
Don't be afraid to know that we always have that, but it's
Yes.
not us.
No, it's not
It's
us.
like I said, the
Right.
energies, things we don't see, it's
Yes.
beyond our control.
When we get too much to the truth is when it usually does it. So just keep that in mind. They used to just shut off on me randomly, seriously, like all the time, and then I'd have to keep coming on and keep coming on. You know.
Well,
But
for me to get, turned off, and not only did my phone shut off, I looked at it, it straight up said no internet.
yep.